guys, let's get started. Okay. So number one is, who are you listening to? By the way, none of this information that I'm going to share with you guys here today is stuff that I created. None of it. I am not an expert at this information. I have applied this information. This information has served me very, very well. But by no means am I standing up here saying, hey, listen, you should listen to me. I know everything. No. I'm simply going to share information with you that was shared with me. Does that make sense, guys?
Yes.
That worked for me. That I went from, in my book, in my mind, from what I consider it to be, from zero to hero in a short period of time. Does that make sense, guys? That's it. From tragic to magic in a very short period of time. Once again, not my information. I'm not the guru. I'm simply sharing information. One of my favorite quotes is, it's okay to be a copycat as long as you do what? Copy the right cat. Exactly. I simply copy books that millionaires read and recommend to me, and they mentioned, I go and read them. Videos, documentaries that they read and they listened to and they heard and they saw, I go and I watch them. That's it. And then what I do is I apply that stuff. I simply copy it. So who are you listening to? Most people, most of us, have been programmed to listen to people that don't have the things that we want. Can we agree?
Yes.
People, there's certain paradigms, there's certain mentalities, there's certain philosophies that get put in our minds that shape our reality, and they're put in our minds unconsciously of the people that we've been listening to. So one of the things that I found out first was, who am I listening to? When that question was asked to me, I started to realize, dang, the people that I've been listening to are not people that have the lifestyle that I want. So it was silly for me to listen to them. Can we agree?
Yeah.
Who are some of those people, for instance, guys?
Teachers.
Teachers. Who else?
Friends.
Friends, family members. Police. Somebody's been in trouble. No, but we get the point, right? See, my teachers, for instance, didn't have the lifestyle that I wanted. My mom didn't have the lifestyle that I wanted, but my mom, ever since I had an early age, she started in the network marketing industry and in the personal development journey. So she actually used to give me some pretty good advice. As far as that, the only way that she was going to get ahead was having her own business. Now, she wasn't very successful, but she was at least on that track. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah. So she always believed, I had the good fortune, that she always believed in me and she always encouraged me, even though it was very, very tough. Okay? So who are you listening to? You have to be aware of who are you listening to. Now, the Teachability Index talks about your willingness to learn versus your willingness to change. So before we even get into the training, guys, we gotta set this right. A lot of you guys that come to training often, you guys have heard me talk about this stuff a lot, but there's a lot of you guys that have not been to my trainings, so I don't know if you've heard this a lot. Most people have not. So the Teachability Index, imagine this. Imagine you got this side here, so if you want on your paper, draw a line going down and a line going sideways. Okay, now on a scale of 1 to 10, so on the line going up and down, on the bottom is a 1 and on the top is a 10. And on the line going sideways, the 1 is here and the 10 is over here. On a scale of 1 to 10, how teachable would you consider, how willing to learn would you consider yourself to be? Now this is for you. I'm not going to see your paper. I want you guys to understand that. What you put on there is completely for you. Do not lie about it. Do not overdo it, because it's not going to help you. Nobody's going to see it. This is not a test. You're not going to get graded on it. So you have to be very brutally honest. How willing to learn am I? For instance, if you're not taking notes or recording this at the very least, you're not very willing to learn. Then on the scale of willing to change, on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you? Are you the kind of person, which most people are, that say, this year I'm going to do this, and then next year you're making the same New Year's resolutions? How many of you guys know some people like that? A lot of us. This year, what are some New Year's resolutions that people say? Lose weight and make money. What else?
Stop smoking.
Stop smoking. What else? Eat better? Yeah. So many things, right? So how willing to change it? So today, you want to have a high teachability index on the willing to learn. Really apply this stuff. So you want to learn with the intent to teach. Pretend like you have an organization that you are going to teach this stuff to. Let's say it's a part of your job, maybe. and you're supposed to teach the same stuff, the best that you can, to another group, how would you be learning? How many notes would you be taking? Would you be taking copious notes? What if you had a contest between you and 5 other people, and whoever gave the best summary on this training today was going to make $2,000? How many of you guys would be taking copious notes? See, here's the thing. It's true, right? Here's the thing. Last time we did this training, we had people not make $2,000. We had people starting to make $2,000 in a day. Gallo, what was the most you made in a day in that project that we did following that training?
$5,000.
$5,000 in a day.
In a day.
In a day. So when people, but here's the thing, when people will do it, yeah, and I do the best out of these 5 people, the best training, they're gonna give me $2,000 one time. That motivates you. That's why you're gonna learn the stuff. You're gonna take copious notes. When you understand the power of this training, really, you're gonna realize, wow, this is worth so much more than that. So your willingness to learn and your willingness to change is simply, are you willing to apply that change? How willing to change are you willing? Does that make sense, guys? Okay. Now, before we even get into it, guys, we want to talk about 17 differences between the rich and the poor. This is something from T Harv Eker's book. Okay. Now, but it relates very well to what we're going to talk about. So, number 1, rich people believe I create my life. Poor people believe that life happens to them. Can we agree, guys?
Yes.
Rich people take responsibility. That's what it talks about. The poor person has a victim mentality. Life happens to me. Like they're not in control of their life. No. Here's one of the crucial things that I learned in business. I learned that whether good or bad, it is because of me. Anything good, anything bad happens because of me. Champions, winners, take 100% responsibility for everything that happens to them, good or bad. You guys follow me?
Yes.
Okay. Poor people have a victim mentality. Here's a victim mentality. It's one of my favorite smaller trainings that I do. Number 1, they complain. You want to write that down. Here's a victim's mentality. They complain. Complaining is the worst thing you can do. You're giving up power. When you complain about something, it means that you can't handle it yourself, so you have to complain. Number 1 is that they complain. They complain about the circumstances, about the company, about the economy, about gas prices. Can we agree that whether you are being successful and happy, you're still paying the same for gas? Yes, right? Can we agree that somebody that's successful and happy versus somebody that is not, can't believe that they're in the same economy, aren't they? What about traffic? Do they both experience traffic? Yes. Now, first, is there something we can do about the traffic? Huh? By helicopter, yes, true. So, but you probably got to go through traffic a lot and make some money, right? To do that. But there's nothing you could do about it. So why complain about it? Make the best of it. Leave earlier. I don't know, carpool or something. I've literally had times that I told people, I told my brother, for instance, and a couple different people, hey, I need you to ride with me, man, because I need to get on the carpool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why? Because sometimes I literally call people just to, hey, you want to come with me? Why? Because I know that if I don't carpool, it's going to take me forever to get there. Not so much that I'm going to be late, but it's going to take me forever to get there. So they complain. Number 2 is that they
You've been
blame.
using me all this time.
Huh?
You've been using me all this time.
Exactly. Number 2 is that they blame. They blame other people. But they don't complain about themselves, and they don't blame themselves. They blame others. And then number 3 is that they justify. They say things like, money isn't everything. I'd rather be happy than rich. Remember what I just said. I'd rather be happy than rich, because it's going to come up in one of the slides. They say money doesn't buy what?
Happiness.
What is being broke buy?
Not much.
Nothing, right? You know what I'm saying? Doesn't buy anything. Maybe it buys you some pity. I don't believe in a pity party. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you're right. I mean, they say money won't find you love. But I believe it lets you fish out of a bigger pond. You know what I'm saying? Right? I mean, seriously, one of the things I learned a long time ago, and I'm going to say it anyways, I don't care. One of the things I learned a long time ago, they said to me, and I'll never forget this. when I was a young man. I'm still a young man, but you know, when I was young. 31.
Younger.
Yeah, younger, exactly. So they said to me, JC, you can lose a lot of money chasing women, but you'll never lose women chasing money. And I'm like, dang. Guys, you gonna learn today. You gonna learn today. Now, granted, I was single, you know what I'm saying? So then I realized that is true. Ladies, do you guys want to go out with a broke dude? Now, here's the thing, there's nothing wrong with that. They're like, no, I don't. Here's the thing, man. There's nothing wrong with being broke. If you're doing something about it. Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah.
If you're doing something about it, there's nothing wrong with it. Because guess what? Bill Gates at one time didn't have any money. A bunch of people at one time didn't have any money. I remember, one of my friends says it and it's funny. He says, I've been poor and I've been rich. And I like rich a whole lot more. Right? It's true. Number two, rich people play the money game to win. Poor people play the money game not to lose. Meaning that they're like always operating in fear. Like there's a lack of it. They're always focused on not losing it, and then the law of attraction says that what you focus on grows. So even if you're focused on not losing it, the dominant word there, the dominant thought is losing. I don't care if you say get out of debt or get in debt. What you're thinking is debt, especially when there's emotions attached to it. Good emotions, bad emotions. Emotions and your feelings are what we call vibrations. But we know them as feelings. So these feelings that we're talking about are your vibration. So rich people play the money game to win. So here's what a lot of people do. Even people, when they go out there and they actually knock it out the park and they make a lot of money, here's the thing. They're like in a money-making mindset, and they're applying the things that they're learning. They have a certain goal for its achievement. Let's say your goal is $100,000 in the bank, for instance. Then they finally achieve it. And then here's what happens. Once they achieve it, oh cool, congratulations to myself, I've achieved the goal. Now they shift into the mindset of not losing it, not going under that 100,000. Does that make sense? Kind of like in a mindset of fear. It's an emotion. So guess what happens? They start to lose it. Because when they were on their way to have 100,000 in the bank, at times they had 80,000 or they had 20,000. Then it went down, they paid some bills, they had 2,000, 17,000, excuse me, 17,000 or 18,000. But they weren't focused on it because they were in a money-making business. Does that make sense, guys? So as they were going up, the money was going like this still. But why? Because they were in the mindset of go forward. They're playing the money game to win. They know, hey, that's fine. Of course, I got stuff to pay, that's a part of it. But I'm working towards it. Then once they finally reach the goal, now they're like, oh, I'm already there, and they don't have the same mindset that got them. Does that make sense, guys?
Yep.
Very important. I've been very guilty of that. And then I noticed, because I started studying, and I started realizing, oh, that's why you have to go back to certain subjects and see them over and over again. Read them, listen to them over and over again, because you start to check yourself with the things that you've learned thus far. Number three, rich people are committed to getting rich. Poor people merely wish to get rich. Or they think it'd be nice to get rich. Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah. Yep.
There's a difference. See, rich people, what does it say, are what?
Committed.
Committed. The rest are merely interested. Let's talk about the differences between being committed and being interested. The difference is that when you're interested, you do the things when it is convenient. When you're interested. I feel good, I'm going to go to the gym. I feel good, I'm going to talk to more people, I'm going to make more phone calls, I'm going to knock on more doors, whatever you do. But let's say you don't feel good, you're having a bad day. A champion acts despite of how he or she feels. Why? Because they're committed. A committed person says, I'm going to do it regardless. For instance, this training I was working on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, Christmas Eve. I've been working on this training. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, it's not to say I didn't have time to spend with my family. I sure did. But I still spent hours dedicated to it. Why? Because I'm committed, because it has to be good. I have to give you that sense of increase, which is in the science of getting rich. I have to give you the best that I have, okay? So, somebody who's committed versus somebody who's interested. Interested person does it when convenient, committed person does it regardless. Number 4, rich people think big, poor people think small, or not at all. If you're already going to be dreaming, you might as well dream big, Donald Trump. And if your dreams aren't big enough, you are not, if your dreams are not big enough, yeah, that's wrong. If your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. Is what I should say. And then Donald Trump said, if you're already dreaming, you might as well dream big. So rich people think big, and poor people think small or not at all. Can we agree that it takes no more effort to put the thoughts of big dreams in our mind versus thoughts of small dreams? Yes or no?
Yes. Correct.
Yes. Exactly. So guess what? You might as well dream big. It's not to say that it's bad to have small dreams. Have them. But have them in addition to the big dreams. So for instance, some people, when they say, I'd rather be happy than rich, that's not a rich person's mentality, because why can't you have both? How many of you guys believe that life is meant to be abundant? Raise your hand if you believe that. Yes, for sure it's meant to be abundant. Why?
You are the highest form of creation.
Yes, because it is. You are meant, life is meant to be abundant. Number 5, rich people focus on opportunities, poor people focus on obstacles. Like that quote that says, is a cup half full or half empty? I'm going to turn off the heater, brother. Oh, it's off. It's just hot in here. You guys are bringing the heat. What you think about and think about, you bring about. Opportunities or obstacles. What is it that you are focused on? Opportunities or obstacles? A rich person focuses on opportunities, poor people focus on obstacles. There's a law of relativity. That means that nothing is good or bad, everything just is. If I say, that's a big chair, that's a tall chair, that's relative, because compared to what? What if I bring a chair like this? Is this still a big chair?
No.
No. So a lot of the times, things that are happening in our life, you know, people